What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Listen, to be honest with you, I didn't think I could top this. As the gayest thing I've ever done in my entire life. But then today happened. And there's no taking it back. There's no changing it. Probably going to take some time to self-reflect, examine my own heart, see where things are at. Maybe go for a long run later, but I don't think that's going to do it. Meditation can help. Therapy can help. Repentance, forgiveness, humility, all the fruits of the Spirit. You just want them to be ripe within your soul. And, today it was a big step back for me. I tend to keep taking 2 steps forward and 10 steps back whenever I do videos like that, but that's okay. Setbacks will happen along the road, and it's up to us to just keep going forward. Now I am a little bit excited because I did have a huge win this week so far. I've made $2,500 on the trade, which is pretty significant. That's not a bad 2 days work. GMZP is the name of the ticker. I told you guys, I called it out. I said, if it comes down to low 4s, I'm in. And I did, and I loaded 1 million shares. I sold it at 6.97172. One of those was at the high of the day, pretty much closed up near there. So I'm not in any way, shape, or form bashing GMZP and saying get out, do whatever you want. But that's kind of what I'm trying to teach you guys is when you get a gain like that, don't take the risk for the extra 30%. Or if you think it's going to go to 1, that's fine. What if it doesn't? What if you get a dip to be able to get back in? You can buy 1.5 or 2 times as many shares as you originally had, or maybe you just add to the stack, whatever the case may be. But either way, the chances are the price isn't just going to continue up nonstop. They do need to release news eventually. I do see them lagging until Thursday, given the fact that they didn't put it out today. So that's why I made my decision to sell. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about beforehand, before I get into the charts today, is having the ability to kind of gauge the sentiment of the market. You can do that through the boards. That's how I tend to do it most often is I go to the boards and I say, okay, are people way too bullish on this? It's probably not a good buy. Are people way too bearish? Maybe it is at a low and ready to go. You have to gauge it that way. Don't gauge it in the sense where you get FOMO and you go to the board and you see everybody bullish and you're thinking, oh my God, I got to get in. I got to get in. No, that's when you should be selling. It's reverse psychology 101. That's how the market is because everybody on the boards is lying. So what they're telling you they're doing the opposite of. I can almost guarantee you that 90% of the people on those boards are doing that. That's why you need to know your posters. So if you're on iHub, if you're on StockTwits, if you're on Twitter, know what people are into pumping and know what people are just telling the truth as they see it. I am one of those people. Don't take my word for it. Watch my videos, get some ideas. Don't do what I say. Don't buy what I tell you. Don't sell what I tell you. You can get ideas from my page, but in no way am I telling you what to do. I'm just showing you how to do it. If you go to the boards and you gauge the sentiment correctly, then you can make an educated decision on where to buy and where to sell the stock. You don't need to have Batman's wings and Fibonacci spiral and ding dong flangle and the Falugi and the Chikangu is right next to the balloon goo. You don't need to do all that. Don't overcomplicate the chart. It's not that serious. Support and resistance is all you really need to worry about. On your daily, on your 30-minute, I wouldn't go any longer than that or shorter than that. I'm at 5-minute charts. Come on now. I mean, unless you're like an extreme day trader, don't worry about 5-minute charts. You base it off the 30-minute. You could do the 4-hour. You could do the 1 hour. You could do the daily. You could do the weekly. Maybe not the monthly for swing trading, but you stay within those parameters. You find stocks that have, at least something, a rumor coming out. You can find all that on the boards. That's why you got to use those forums to help you and not against you, because it's going to work against you if you just follow what people say. You get sucked into the FOMO. You get sucked into the fear. You go with the emotions of the board. You kind of want to do the opposite of what the boards are saying. So, for example, with GMZP, it was clearly an overdone oversell on that merger news. It had come down from 16 all the way way to low fours. That's a 75% drop in a matter of days off of something that might not have, and then you have the little bit of the DD coming out, the sentiment starting to change. I knew that it was way oversold at 4. I knew it was a perfect entry, so I got in, and I didn't think twice. It wasn't hard for me to do that. Thought it might have hit 37, but I took the shot anyway because I was like, it's too far down to hit 37. And who knows, maybe it happens in the future with a delay of news. But either way, you get the entry there. Then you read the boards and you see what people are saying. Is it still bullish? Has any news came out? No, I saw that there wasn't a lot of shares picked up in the 4s yesterday. A lot of it was accumulated in the high 4s and the low 5s. So I said, if it is going to be bullish today, I thought about selling first thing in the morning, and I said, no, I feel like the sentiment isn't just one day's worth of movement off a 75% drop. I think it's going to have another day of a push. I didn't expect it to get into 7s, but I did exactly. Once it did get into 7s, I said, okay, my original sell was 7.5. I was going to sit it there and I wasn't going to move it. Then I saw it at 7.2 and I said, what's the difference between 3 ticks and 7.2 and 7.5? It's not that big of a difference. And I'd rather make sure to secure that gain and take it to the bank than sit in there and worry about what's going to happen next. Because if you start to do that, that's when it starts to trickle away from you. Then you're like, well, I can't sell here. All of a sudden it's back at your average. So the reason why I sold today is because I think that there is going to be a delay in news. I think they are going to have to come out with something on Thursday or by Thursday. Otherwise, it's in trouble. They need to update the shareholders. I just don't see it happening tomorrow morning. So I think there will be a dip during the day to get back in. We shall see. But that's how you gauge the sentiment of the market. You don't go with what they're saying. Go against what everybody's saying. Eliminate the noise, but still focus on the noise. Meaning, like, don't get caught up in pre-market volume or a bunch of people getting excited or spam on your board that's saying this one's the next one. It's just you're gonna get all bundled up. You got to stick to your plan. Go over the stocks at night. Figure out how the market feels about the stock. Think about if it's overbought or oversold, and that can be a very good indicator of what to do. If everybody's telling you to buy Bitcoin, it's probably time to sell it. It's the same thing with when everybody's like, I hate this stock, I'm out, it's probably a chance to buy it. So that's that. Just shot an entire video and it didn't record. So if you ever want to know what to get me for Valentine's Day or Christmas or whatever, just make sure that I'm shooting a video for an hour and it doesn't work. That's really all I want out of life. You can see that I'm completely drained. I can't even believe that I have to do this again. We're gonna not complain. We're gonna just bear with it. It's not that big of a deal. It could be a lot worse. But second thought, I don't think it can get much worse than this. I think this is probably the worst day of my entire life. I've really thought that was a very good video. It didn't turn out to be that way. Now I got to say everything over again and hope that it's anything near what I just did. Probably won't be because I have no energy and I want to go nap time in the Betty Bye. But we're just going to jump right into the charts, stop talking because I don't have a lot of time now because there's other things that I have to do with my life. Like answer emails for my normal job, and just after sitting here for all day trading and the stress of that, now I shoot an hour-long video and then have to do it all over again. So, hey, I love you guys. I love to be here. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so thankful. It's maybe my favorite thing to do all day, every day. And we're going to start with GMZP. This is the one that I traded perfectly. I've kind of already went over this in the beginning. If you didn't watch that, you should watch that. But either way, got a perfect entry, got a pretty solid out. I thought I was going to get out at 7.5, got out at 7.2 down to 6.9, which is very good. Shh, no more talk time. Thank you. No. Night. Bye. But this one looks really good to continue with, but I do think that there's going to be a dip for re-entry, and I want to get back into it. I want to. I sometimes when you have a stock that you really like, you want to stick with it. And this is one of those stocks. I called it at 8, ran to 17.5, which was pretty much a perfect sell. Dropped back down, 75% drop. Picked it up at the bottom, sold it at what is to be now what the chart says, because the chart doesn't always say what's going to happen. It only says what's happened and what is happening now. So from what I can see is I've made a perfect trade so far. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe they release news pre-market. Maybe they don't. But either way, we'll have to take it from there because I can't predict the future, and neither can anybody else. So if anybody says that, say, shh. No more talk time. And then just send them to the corner and never hear from them again. And that's pretty much what you have to do with anybody telling you that they know what's going to happen at all times. And somebody's hammering on my wall, which is another one of my favorite things. Again, if you ever want to know if you want to thank me, just come to my house, come to near my apartment and bang on things. That's perfect for me. Now again, this is one that I actually bought with my gains today. I do think this has a chance to get to 420. Why? Because it's almost 420, and that's pretty much my only go-to there. Not realistically, this thing looks like it. Last time it did this and it curled up to this middle band, it kind of looked a lot like this. This thing tends to run. I think 420 isn't a lot to ask for. It's about 30% from here. I'll probably be out at 4 or somewhere around there for a nice clean 25%. Bing bang bop in at 295. We'll see where it goes. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I don't know what to tell you. But I think it will work out. That's why I bought it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, there's obviously a chance that I might have to take a 5-10% loss. Okay, fine. Not a big deal. Why? Because I'm up significantly on the week. And when you've made a good trade, that's why you bank it, because then you have room to play. Okay. Me go playtime now. Me go playtime in the ball bin. Okay. By the way, if you were, I don't know how old you are, but if you don't know about ball bins at like places called Leaps and Bounds, then you didn't have a childhood, and I feel bad for you. And I actually kind of want to come and hold your hand and show you that everything's going to be okay. And you don't need to transition, or you don't need to be somebody who you think you were supposed to be, or what you don't feel correct inside. There's definitely medications, there's therapy, there's all different types of things for that, and you just need to make sure that you're sound in that department. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. I'm so tired. So if that made no sense, I lost my train of thought. I completely lost. Hopefully that made sense. Another thing that I bought today was Sint. I do like the look of this. It seems like it wants to go. Let's see. It's above the middle band. It just seems like it's been down here for a while. I think 3 isn't too much to ask. We'll see what happens tomorrow. 250 maybe. But I think it's due for news. There is a very good chance that this thing could run. Your technicals are turning up. Your RSI looks great. Your MACD looks great. Looking good. Daddy do likey. Daddy do likey. And again, that's why I bought it. I'm only going to buy it if I like it. So if I say that I bought it, I obviously like it. Makes sense? NVOS, another one that I bought today. I was just a little buying boy. I was going to the market to buy the nicest hot cross buns. But this one is NVOS. It looks good to me because I'm taking someone's word for this. I am taking it, but it looks good. I mean, obviously, like you have this entire long consolidation, then boom, it goes. That could have been the front load a little bit. Now we're waiting on news. They're saying that they're expecting it to be done. I'm trusting that. I think that it's a very good potential that it does, and I think it could really take the hell off if it happens. So let's just see. Let's pray to God. I got to look more into the timeline of this, see when things are expected. But you are pinching on the Bollinger Bands. Your technicals are right on the hot zone at 50 on your RSI. Volume is kind of dying off. You get one good volume day. That's why I want to be in it, so I can make sure that I can make an exit and I can save some shares in case it keeps going, which is something that you can always do. You don't always have to sell everything, your whole position. Should have bought into this. I didn't because I'm dumb and I don't do anything correct and my entire life's a sham. But whatever. Um, BXRX, it just looks really good. All your technicals are like your MACD's not overbought. You got more volume today, obviously, than normal, and it's just breaking this resistance pretty hard. And damn, I would look for hopefully like a pullback maybe to $2 pre-market. But if you can get in at pre-market at anywhere near $2, you're probably in really, really good shape to see some gains here. This thing could really take off. Um, Looks really good. Looks really good. I would definitely say that's one to watch tomorrow. Excella, this was a request. I don't really like this stock to be. Well, actually, I do like this setup though. I do like the push and the pullback right above the middle band. You might be able to get some of that tomorrow. See if you can get it at 4 cents, somewhere in that range. If you can, you're looking good. You're in good shape for a push. Um, But yeah, it just takes a lot of volume to move this thing. It's a very odd trading stock. Obviously, it's gone on runs before in the past, so it's not like this thing can't take off out of nowhere. Your RSI's in the encroaching into the hot zone. MACD looks pretty good, and I mean, you are getting volume. I don't know, the chart does look good. It looks like it did this, now it's doing this, and it could get higher. I think that Excel is definitely like if you buy it here, you're probably going to make money, or you're gonna have the chance to sell at a higher price. AGFY, damn, somebody mentioned this today. I think they said they got in at 17. Brilliant. This hasn't isn't a very good looking chart here, so I apologize, but everything looks I mean, unbelievable amount of volume. Unbelievable amount of volume. Um, Jesus Christ. I mean, again, terrible chart as far as a view of it, but this thing might keep going. Just looks really good. Can't really see anything on that, but God, that was a good call. Foxo. This one you want to, it actually is down pretty significantly in aftermarket. You want to maintain this northbound wedge, this ascending wedge to the north. If you can do that and you can maintain this trend line right here, which I would be looking at, if you're able to hold, I would say get in, I don't know, in the if you can get in the high 60s, where it's, last time I checked, that's where it's at. As long as you keep this wedge going and you don't pull back to this middle band, that will be it's a very thin stock. Anything can happen. This is a dangerous one. I almost bought it today in the 80s and then I pulled my bid. Thank God I did. If I didn't, then I'd be a little squid and I'd probably be in the bottom of the ocean swimming with the fish. And then I would probably just not even do my dishes because I was so lazy and depressed and I wanted to blow my brains all over the new chest that I got that's right next to my bed and with all the blankets in it and all the other accoutrements. I mean, was I going to be a rapper when I was born? Some say that. I don't know if it was my destiny or not. It was a path that I chose not to take. But people have said that. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've heard. This isn't, it's just could have been something that was meant for me, and I just passed up on the opportunity. But um, oh well, what are you gonna do? And but I tell you what, if Foxo holds this ascending wedge and gets above this area here, you could be pushing up, and you could break this previous resistance, which is at about 150. I think there's a gap up at 170. You just got to get that push. I don't know what to tell you here. It's a risk. Everything's a risk. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Moan. Oh, what an absolute turd. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. Like, is it a turd? I don't know. What's this? Is that good? Is that non-dilutive? Let me guess, there's no dilution. Let me guess, everybody's buying their cars at a tremendous rate and they're all over the world. Let me guess that they have zero toxic debt, no convertible debt, nothing at all, no warrants, no offerings. Let me guess, the CEO is probably the best guy to ever exist. Sure, let me guess that it's going to go to $1 million by tomorrow. Okay. It's always the same idea. It's always the same thing. Either way, I mean, this thing could get going again. I'm not going to say that it can't. RSI, everything's oversold. You are down really low. This could be a double bottom here. Not saying that it's not tradable. I'm just saying, like, whoever is, the stock is not performing correctly. That says that it's a downtrend. The trend is always your friend. You want to kind of get out of that. Once you get out of that, that's when my eyes and a lot of other eyes are going to be drawn to the stock. It's beaten down. It's beaten down. I was thinking about buying it back up here. But again, this is why we take a 10% loss at all times, so we don't end up in the bottom of the ocean. We don't end up in the bottom in the pits of hell with the devil and all of his demons. I don't want to live there. Do you? Do you want to be in hell for eternity? Do you want to scorch in flames in the core of the earth? Do you want to swim with electronic fishes on the bottom of the ocean with enough pressure on your skull to break it into 1,000 pieces? Not I. Not me. And I would rather sing with the birds and the trees. I'd rather fly to the moon. I'd rather be with the bees and the birds and the trees and the monkeys swinging from the limbs of the leaves. And that's where I want to be. I want to be in that realm. I want to be in, not in the pit of despair. So you just got to be careful of that one. Make sure that it is on the move and breaking the downtrend. Okay. GGSM. Um, I don't know. I'm not really seeing anything by the chart. Make sure that if you ask for a review, I mean, you don't have to. I'm just saying it helps me because if it's something that I've never seen before, I'm not familiar with the company. If I just look at this chart, I don't really see anything. I mean, I do see that there's a lot of volume coming in, but not even really because it's at trip nine and it's only 651K daily volume. That's nothing. That's literally like 480 bucks, something like that. So things like that, like I don't know, is there something coming up? If there's like a merger candidate and they're like, yeah, it's going to come at the end of the month, maybe it's something to accumulate here, but it'd be hard to even do that without a couple days or at least a week, if you want any significant amount of shares, because if you want to put in 5 grand, it's going to take a while. Um, but yeah, let me know in the comments what that thing's all about because it just doesn't seem like anything. And then this really, I don't know. These are two. I don't know. Again, fill me in on what's going on with these stocks because I can't really spend too much time on it because they don't really like. I don't know. I mean, what? I don't even know. This just looks like a barcode to me, and I don't have anything to scan, so I'm just gonna do the next one on that, and let me know. Let me know what's going on with that. Pop, pop. This is one that everyone seems to love. It's just been going through a very long period of consolidation, and looks it's just like it's sideways trading, like you read about, like was taught in school. This is nothing that I'm tremendously interested in. I know that a lot of people are, so I don't want to be like, oh my God, like what? Like, but at the same time, I mean, you've had a lot of volume, but it's kind of been selling. It closed the gap today. It might keep going from here. There are a lot of eyes on it. That's what's working for you. There is a lot of interest. There's a lot of people that believe in the company. I'm very familiar with the stock. It's been known to run very high in the past. I don't know what their books look like. I don't know if there's dilution. I don't know if there's anything that is getting converted. But as far as your RSI, that's in the hot zone above 50. MACD isn't really overbought or oversold, kind of flatlined. And you are getting volume. I know that there's something stirring in that stock, so keep an eye on it. AMC, the nicest of flavors. Oh my God, the nicest of flavors. Why would you ever drink soda? Like, listen, we all like soda, okay? We and everybody. I have one friend that doesn't like soda, but he might be retarded. Um, or he might just be lying. I don't know. I think he probably just has to lie to himself because he was like a fat kid as a kid and probably just drank 16 sodas a day. Got to be the reason because who doesn't like the taste of the nicest sugary carbonation? I'm not sure. But either way, we stay away from sodas on this page. We don't do that. And alcohol too. What? I drank this weekend. I drank one day this weekend, so okay. But I'm cutting back dramatically, and the only thing I drink all day is water. And if you do carbonated, it's just a beautiful flavor. It stings the back of the throat. Oh, just it's just the nicest flavors. AMC. I don't know, man. I mean, if you're gonna buy this, you're gonna probably buy it here or close to it. 486 is where I'm seeing this middle band. It's probably gonna come down to that. But pretty, it's given a lot of opportunity to trade. I know that this is a very cultish stock. If you want to go with this trend line here without this blip, I don't know what the hell happened, but if you want to ride this trend line, you're kind of sticking to that. If you really believe in the company, so be it. I could tell you that I live in LA and I have an AMC at my job and nobody goes. And I'm just saying what I see personally. It doesn't mean that the stock doesn't have a lot of room to run. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be things in the future that are going to help it. But I've said this once and I'll say it again. Nobody's seeing Woman King, not one person on earth. Just like they're trying to make everybody watch women's basketball. By the way, any of my women subscribers, I love you. But like, I don't personally, and a lot of people don't want to watch women's basketball. I'm sorry. They just don't. It's just, but they're trying to push it, just like AMC is trying to push a bunch of that stuff in the movie theaters. In fact, I just saw a billboard with a nun like a Mother Teresa riding a motorcycle with like a guy on her back, and it's like Mother Mary. It's like, no, dude, I'm never gonna go see that. Nobody's going to go see that. When it's not for profits, it's clearly an agenda. Okay, so we're not going to get into that. But either what my whole point in saying all this is just as nobody goes to the NBA or WNBA, nobody goes to AMC, bruh. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Trade the stock. Don't, if you're bagged from 70, say goodnight. Kiss your young son or your young child goodnight and say, go to bed and pray to God that you get a quarter of that back. Okay. I again, only the truth will be told on this page. There's nothing else I can do. I have no choice. There is no way around it. It's just the way that things are, and it's always the way that things will be. And there's nothing I can do about that. Now, PTPI has been on an absolute rip steam, just gunning for the moon. It literally wants to go to Mars and just rove everywhere. Just a beautiful looking push, getting above this previous line, what I would call a resistance here, where it tried to get to and it got rejected, pull all the way down here, and then just went bye bye. See you later. I'm gonna go to the moon, and I might not come back down for a little while. So let's get real comfy up here. Okay, bring the freeze dried MREs, and let's go to space, and let's just drift. Let's go out of the let's get out of the space station. We'll just drift around. We'll just drift into orbit, and we'll just take a trip. Okay, that's what this stock is doing, and it looks gorgeous, and it's having higher lows. It's had higher highs, not as far as the first day, but it's just seemingly bullish. And after an extremely, I don't know, I'm not buying stocks that high, but I'm just saying it looks beautiful. It looks like a little moonbeam to the sky. And I like the look of that. I just want to admire it. I want to like spend time with it. I want to take it to dinner. I want to nourish it. And I want to like, then I don't even want to like insert myself into it. That's why I don't take entry in stocks like that. But I just want to like, I want to lay it down. I'm going to have to cut that out. But either way, anyway, that was retarded. This thing looks like it's probably going to want to go up to 53. This is BDRX, by the way, but you know, you've kind of had this long period of just staying down here. I don't know when it's going to pop. I don't know if it's tomorrow, but your volume's coming in a little bit more. You're so oversold on your RSI, and your MACD is pretty low, so there's a good chance that this goes soon, and you're looking at almost a 100% if it gets back to this middle orange, which is very possible. Middle orange band. FUTS. One of those dumbest names I've ever heard in my entire life. This thing is going. Wow. And the volume's coming in. I think somebody brought this up the other day. I don't know. What is the volume at, though? Let's make sure that it's not something. I mean, again, not that much. Well, you know, $30,000. So, you know, it's still something tradable. The technicals look great. This thing trades thin. Be careful, but you're pretty almost above this previous resistance. Daily looks good. I would have to zoom out to see if this is a W formation, but to me, I mean, this thing could at least have another day in it. ADHC. Let's see how this bad boy's doing. This is one that I've been hitting recently, and I'm just going to keep that going. But see, this is why we sell, folks. So I actually sold a little bit early. When did I sell? I think I sold it like 5.5 or something, or I got in at 3.5. I was out at 5.5, something along those lines, and then it ran to 7. So I missed out on that. Whoop-de-doo. If I would have held it, I would have been singing the song of hell. I would have been singing, I would have been chilling with Hades in the basement. I would have been on low-key inflamed in multiple areas. And you don't want to be that. You don't want to catch flames. You don't want to be angry. You don't want to be a tormentor of your own destruction. I don't even know what I'm saying. I've been talking for too long, dude. I've been talking for too long. I've said too much. But we keep going. We keep pressing forward. We block out the fact that was the dumbest thing that I've ever said, and we just keep talking. We just keep talking. We don't worry about it. I can't start over again. Okay. But either way, this is, might be in another buy zone here. If you're going to buy it, you're buying it here. 2.8. I like it. I think that this does have another swing in it. I don't know when it's going to happen. You're oversold on your technicals, but they are starting to curl up a little bit, ever so slightly. Given this might be a reversal candle here, let's see what happens tomorrow and in the near future. BBBY. A lot of volume. I just don't know. I mean, a lot of volume, but that's because it looks like there's more volume, but that's just because it's a lower price than it previously was. I mean, you're oversold on your RSI and your technicals. You did have a significant amount of green volume that's pushing it. It might get to 50. But if you're in that for a day trade, I would take it from 38 to 50 and don't do any more. Don't get greedy. Don't act like this stock. I mean, it could do one of these again, but it's a meme stock. You have to have everything concocted the perfect way. You have to stir that pot just perfectly with the nicest pinch of salt, the nicest pinch of pepper, the nicest spices from around the world, just turning it. And hopefully, when you taste it, it doesn't taste like absolute soot because if you get the wrong entry in a stock like this, you could end up in this situation. You don't want to be in that situation again. And I'll say it a million times. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. I'll say it after spinning it for 2 hours now, going on 3 hours or 4 hours, however long I've been sitting at this chair. I'll say it again. You take your 10% loss because if you don't, you're going to end up down here and you're going to be very salty. And then you're going to be on the boards and you're going to be crying and you're going to act like a dum dum and everybody's going to think you're a little bitch. And then you're going to get flack for that and you're going to get even more angry and then you're going to get depressed and then you're going to divorce your wife and then you're going to lose your kids and then you're going to move to some small town in East Jabip and then you're going to turn into a hermit and you're going to live off the land and you're never going to speak to anybody again. You're never going to talk to any of your family. Your parents are pretty much gone. You're going to live off the land for the rest of your days and you're just never going to have any fulfillment in anything that you do. You're pretty much just going to be a nothing man, so to speak. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to end up in that situation. So again, tradable stock does get memed a lot, and that's great. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and remember what Bed Bath and Beyond is. And it is a company, but it's not one that's necessarily thriving and gonna make you $1 billion. I know that that's what they said in 2020 when the money printer was going, brrr, but it's not. It's no. I mean, the money printer is probably still going, brrr, but it's just not affecting the economy like it was before, where everybody was getting money from the government and then they put it all into the market and then they lost it all. And now everybody's broken. Inflation is through the roof. Sick. This is what Alp. I mean, listen, I brought this one up because I know a lot of people in this one also believe in it, and I do know that they probably diluted over the last couple of years, but they do have a very good product. It's a very sound product. It's a good company. They actually have something going for them. I don't think it's a scam in any way, shape, or form, which is very rare to find in the OTC. This thing ran from like 2 pennies, or actually way less. I was in this in the subs, and I sold it for a loss, and it ran to $1, and that blew my mind. But hey, I passed it now. You can't do anything about it now, so you got to let things that have happened happen, and don't live in the past. Just try and get the future to work out for in your direction. So Alp is a good buy. It's a good long hold, I think, especially at this price. You're pretty low as comparatively to the past couple of years. Things been sold off. As long as they start turning a profit and they start putting the company in the right direction and giving shareholders some type of value, then it's if you're going to believe in something in the OTC, I think Alp is one of those that you can at least have a glimmer of hope in, or glimmer of faith. I don't know, dude. How am I still talking? VMHG. God. Hydration, hydration. I'm like running on low. But then you just get a swig of the nicest Topo Cheek, and everything's good again. Everything feels right within my but then I get cotton mouth in like 3 seconds, and I just I can't. I just can't do this anymore. VMHG. I brought this one up because it seems like a buying opportunity to me. It's just 5.2 is the middle orange band. You're getting oversold to 2.3. A lot of times when they sell off like this, it does become a buying opportunity because it's pressing way too low. I don't know. Did anything bad come out? What's the volume? Wait. 210K. I mean, why am I even doing this? Either way, who know? Oh God, why did I even bring that? Was just like a waste of time. 210K. Nobody's even gonna see that. Nobody's ever invested that in their entire life. That's probably a ticker that doesn't even exist. Holy Shintaku. Now I know why I brought this one up. Holy Magango. It literally ran from Holy bing bang bo. 15 to 70 cents in a day. And some people didn't sell it. But it did, and ended up closing at 24, dude. So you could have had like a six, no, 500% gain, something along those lines. And instead, you're sitting at less than 100. You're sitting at like 40. Damn. That's why, like, if you get a big day like that, just get out, dude. Don't hope for the next one. Or you closed up 50%, so 45%. Good for you. But if you get a day like that, you got to sell, dude. If you're up at 70 cents and you haven't sold yet, you're already a nut. You should have sold it like 50 or something. I don't know, dude. But either way, incredible movement in this. And you're really not overbought on your technicals. And the fact that it did close so low, I mean, I don't know if that's a good sign or not, but it could keep going tomorrow. Hopefully it like gets up this body of this chart or up that wick. EMGE. Looking good to me as far as the chart. Breaking this downtrend. I actually like this one a lot. What was the volume? Again, not enough volume. That can always fool you because that's why you have to pay attention to the volume because the chart can look really good. But what are you going to, I mean, 2 million, that's like 6 grand. It's hard to take entry and I mean, if you want to flip 500 bucks in here, but that's like not even worth my time. I'm not even trying to like but whatever, you can if you want. Like that would be one to get in with a small amount of money and get out. Maybe that's how much you have. Maybe your account's very small. You get in this with 500 bucks, you get out, whatever. Like, it would be easy for you. But if you need more liquidity, then that's not a great stock to be involved with. Gamble. It seems like gambling stocks ran today. I'm not exactly sure. GMBL. I'm not exactly sure why. But a huge volume day, had a huge push, closed at this previous resistance, so we'll have to see how that goes. But after this long period of consolidation and bottom feeding, basically, this might be a good time to enter. I don't know. I'll have to look into why gambling stocks ran. Maybe give me a hint on that. That face, dude. But either way, DraftKings was up. This was up. I think LTRY was up. There's MGM or whatever. There's a few that were up. So let me know in the comments if you're in this stock why gambling stocks ran today. RGBP. This one looks like it might be heating up too. Not a lot of volume, 8.3 thousand, but this is one that a lot of people like. And I don't know. I guess after that reverse split, who knows? Maybe they don't dilute as much. It does seem like it's at a bottom here. It could get up back up to this to kind of get in this area at $6. I'm looking for a break of around 3. If you break 3, you're probably headed to 6. GNS. Now I'm hot. Just get it over with. Get it done. GNS. I mean, it's like the J hook right here. Doesn't look bad to me. You get above 156, you might be breaking this trend. You got to get it. As you can see, it's been rejected by this middle band a couple times, but it looks like it wants to curl up and get above that. Your MACD or your MACD and your RSI look really good. Your volume was, I mean, it has enough volume. Keep an eye on this one. It might be ready for another pump. CRBP. And that's one that I told people to sell in the 7s, and they called me an idiot. So you do the math, homie J. You do the math, homie. Little homie, I can't even think anymore. As you can see, my brain's about to explode. And what am I even doing with my life? But this thing, I called this out once it broke above here, and it keeps running. Brilliant. Could have easily got a 30% out of this. I do think it keeps going. Closed at the high of the day. Not exactly sure what this did after market, but just a beautiful move. Just incredible mover. Incredible mover. I don't know who told me about this one, but geez, Louisa, Mama Mendoza. Absolutely incredible move. And it looks like it wants to keep going. APRU. This one looks like it's curling up as well. I would keep an eye on this one for over 2.7. You might get a flag here. If you can get in at 2.5, you can probably easily get out at 3.5. That's a very significant gain, about 40%. That's what I would be looking for in this one, with your MACD starting to turn bullish, your RSI starting to turn bullish and curling up. This kind of like, it's going to form a flag here, in my opinion. I might actually look to enter this one tomorrow. SMX. Sorry, as you can see, I have like no. I'm not even gonna try and be funny right now, because if I did, it would just not make sense. I just did it a couple minutes ago, and it completely, like, I had to, like, I don't even know what I did, but I had to stop, and I had to stop quickly. I just have to get through this, so I need, like, I need peace and quiet. I've been talking for too long. I keep saying that. This is so bad. But either way, SMX is breaking above. Where is it breaking above? Let's see. SMX, I want this one, and I keep telling myself that I'm gonna buy it, and then I just don't, and it pisses me off every day, because I'm like, I want it, and I want it, and I want it bad, and I wanted it at $1, like I had it before, and now it's at 2.44. But it's still not too late to buy. I do think it's going to fill this gap up at $6. I really do, and I hope it does for everyone involved. And I'll probably won't be a part of it, but that's okay. I still wish the best for everybody else. I do really think co-op. Just get it done now. Just get it done. I'm just so hot. I'm so hot now. Co-op turning up on your MACD and your RSI. I mean, your MACD is not really doing much, but your RSI is turning up. This one might be ready to go now. We'll have to see. Keep an eye on it. Closing above the middle band. It looks like it's curling up. This thing could trickle up and then have one huge day, in my opinion. Doma. Looks really good. Probably going to buy this one tomorrow. Doma's going to go. Doma's going to go. That's my review, because I really just know, I just know it is. I mean, you got to get above this resistance, but you're forming a W here that's about to break out. I want this under 40 all day. I want this under 40 so hard. I want it under 40 so hard. It just looks so good. This is another one that you got to keep your eye on. AITX. This thing could really get going in a hurry here. W formation forming. It's an AI stock, so you're getting hot on your RSI. MACD's turning up. Telling you, keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on that one, boys and ladies and girls, and everyone else involved, because you can't say boys and girls. Literally, at my job, I work at events, and at the events, like, there's vendors or whoever's, like, if we're doing a show or whatever, they have to say, they can't say ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not, I can't even think anymore, because I can't even get into that, because it's gonna ruin my brain. I can't even, like, talk about that. But the fact that you can't do that is so mind blowing that it's even draining me even more. I can't even believe that's a thing. I can't even believe that's the thing. Someone asked me to do this one. I have no idea. I have no idea what to tell you. Um, it's sideways trading. These are ones that, like, I don't really. If you're a day trader, you could try and get in on these lows and out a little bit high. I mean, like, I don't know though. It's just, I'm not trying to wait like 2 weeks for it to get from 440 to $5. Some people, if you're trading like a lot of liquidity, then, or like, even then, it's still not a lot of money that's going into the stock. So just not my cup of tea. I got to shut this off before my brain explodes. But I'm going to be back tomorrow and the next day and the day after that and the day after that and the day after that, because I am monetized now, thank God. So we'll see how much money I'm going to make off this thing. I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully it's more than 15% per billion views. I don't know if I already said that this video or I said it last, which I've been struggling with this entire video, is thinking about, did I already say that? Did I already say that? Because you know what I mean? But again, I love shooting 2 hours worth of footage and only gaining the footage of one. Good night.